Nurse Ratched is the grim architect of control in Ken Kesey's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. As the head nurse of a mental institution, she uses her power to enforce institutional oppression. With a clinical demeanor and a smile as sharp as a scalpel, her primary tool is manipulation, masking her malicious intent behind a facade of compassion and efficiency. Ratched embodies the institutional tyrant, enforcing her will on the vulnerable patients she is meant to care for. Her philosophy of order over chaos guides her chilling approach to patient management. Every decision she makes is calculated to maintain her authority and the status quo. When faced with unruly patients, her calm disposition barely conceals her chilling resolve to strip away their autonomy. The ward's routines become more like prison chains, leaving no room for defiance. The love she feigns is a control mechanism, ensnaring the fragile minds within her grasp. In Ratched's world, compassion is as distant as her genuine emotions. She represents the darkest corners of healthcare where caregivers become oppressors and helplessness turns into suffering. It's not about the sanity of the mind, it's about the control of the system. Sauron, the Dark Lord from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, is a monumental figure of evil. Once a servant of the godlike Morgoth, Sauron's ambition to dominate Middle-earth is fueled by sheer malice and an insatiable hunger for power. Known primarily through the One Ring, his influence pervades every shadow. His presence felt even in his absence, lurking like a predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As the Dark Lord, Sauron is a master manipulator. He doesn't just use brute force, he understands the psychological needs of his enemies. He plays on their greed, fear, and desires, turning friends into foes and warriors into pawn. His voice is alluring, resonating with the promise of ultimate dominion if only you serve him. Beneath his imperial ambition lies a deep-seated need for validation, stemming from his former servitude, which leaves a path of destruction in his pursuit of supremacy. The haunting imagery of Sauron's ever-watchful eye embodies the surveillance of an oppressive regime. His evil is pervasive, a sinister whisper in the air, an existential dread that threatens to consume free will itself. I am the master of all I survey, and I shall see my dominion realized. Big Brother, in George Orwell's 1984, is the ultimate embodiment of systemic oppression. As a figurehead symbolizing totalitarian control, he represents not just the enforcement of law, but the subjugation of free thought itself. The phrase, "Big Brother is watching you," serves as both a warning and a chilling statement of fact. Control is maintained not just through government apparatus, but by instilling fear and doubt into the very fabric of society. Big Brother's surveillance infiltrates every aspect of life, stripping away individuality in favor of conformity. From the Ministry of Truth's propaganda to the thought police's relentless hunt for dissent, he represents an ideological evil that exploits the minds of the fearful and the tortured. In a world of doublethink, citizens are conditioned to believe that this oppression is for their own good. This chilling reality encapsulates a nightmare where freedom is stifled by a regime that thrives on eradicating personal integrity. His existence is a constant reminder of the fragility of liberty in the face of overwhelming control. Ignorance is strength. The Lich, the unforgiving personification of death from the animated series Adventure Time, holds a different kind of evil. With a skeletal frame, he's a terrifying embodiment of nihilism. The Lich's singular purpose is annihilation. He seeks nothing short of the obliteration of all life. His motives are not just for chaos, but a twisted philosophy that views life as an insignificant, fleeting flame. Where typical villains create a new reality, he destroys to highlight the void that exists beyond life itself. His interactions are often recessed into eerie silence, punctuated by moments of terror. He transcends mere villainy and becomes an existential threat to the very essence of existence. His cold pronouncement of doom reverberates with chilling clarity. Life is a game, and he plays it with lethal intent. The Lich masterfully embodies mythic evil, feeding on the hopes that he methodically dismantles. The last breath of the world will be the sweetest symphony. Anton Chigurh, the relentless assassin from Cormac McCarthy's No Country for Old Men, introduces a chilling layer to the concept of fate. His unwavering commitment to his code of ethics, determined by a coin flip, makes him an entity of fate incarnate. With a haircut that slices through the air like a blade, Chigurh's cold, calculating demeanor traps his victims in philosophical horror. Either allow fate its course or face the fatal consequences. A weapon gone rogue embodies the relentless hunter. His methods are devoid of emotion, each act of violence calculated and uncompromising. Armed with a silenced shotgun and an otherworldly calm, he operates in a realm beyond morality, driven by an unfathomable logic that leaves his victims utterly helpless. The chilling simplicity of his dialogue juxtaposes his horrific actions, making him a paradox understood only through fear. Chigurh's existence taunts the audience and his prey alike. Is life just a matter of chance, or does he represent a more sinister force shaping destiny? If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule? Homelander, from The Boys, is a corrupted ideal and charismatic figure gone rogue. He is a superhero of sinister intent. Masked by a veneer of patriotism and heroism, he is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and celebrity culture. With godlike abilities, flight, super strength, and laser vision, his warped morality betrays any notion of genuine heroism. Behind that flawless exterior lies an ego so inflated that the destruction of lives is mere collateral in his pursuit of adoration. His narcissism transcends the desire for praise. It morphs into vindictive retribution against those who question his supremacy. Homelander thrives on public adoration, yet harbors a disdain for their fragility. This duality magnifies his evil, a perfect smile paired with a trail of agony. His signature phrase, delivered with loose confidence, reveals the cracks within an increasingly volatile facade. The question isn't if he will enact his cruelty, but rather when. I can do whatever I want. Nemesis. In the psychological horror of Resident Evil, Nemesis is a relentless hunter, a weapon gone rogue engineered to obliterate. Crafted to seek out survivors, he embodies a nightmare, a monstrous fusion of human and machine designed to crush and terrorize. With enhanced strength, resilience, and an unmatched will, Nemesis is the perfect embodiment of survival horror. He doesn't just pursue, he relishes the hunt. His mechanical voice, punctuated by a primal growl, sends chills down the spines of all who encounter him. But the horror lies not just in his physical capabilities, but in the unyielding purpose that drives him: absolute extermination of those who oppose his creators. Nemesis represents a corrupted ideal, a soldier stripped of humanity, rendered into a singular survival instinct devoid of remorse. In his wake, he leaves ruined lives and shattered dreams. Each encounter is a game of cat and mouse, but one where the mouse rarely escapes unscathed. The mission must be completed. The Cuckoo in C.M. Kozeman's speculative evolution work, All Tomorrows, the Cuckoo emerge as the cold exterminators of the cosmos. This advanced alien race of four-winged insectoids exemplifies a terrifying form of evolutionary elitism as they impose their notion of perfection across the galaxy. Driven by cold logic and devoid of empathy, they view other life forms as inferior obstacles in their quest for absolute dominance. Their chilling methods of manipulation warp not only their own bodies but also the biology of other species, reinforcing their godlike complex. They reshape life until it fits their ideal vision. What separates the Cuckoo from other villains is their alien perspective, a disconnect from empathy where extermination is a logical solution, devoid of the emotional weight humans might carry. In this cyclical dance of evolution, the Cuckoo's existence questions the very nature of life itself. In their eyes, existence is a resource, expendable and manipulable until it settles into the form they desire. In order to evolve, one must dominate. Judge Holden, the chilling figure from Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, embodies a haunting presence that lingers far beyond the page. He's a ghastly giant peering into the abyss with pale, almost translucent skin that reflects his otherworldly essence. As an itinerant judge, he wields an unsettling authority, predicated on his twisted morals and a deep-seated yearning for chaos. More than a man, he is a force of nature, unbound and remorseless. Holden proclaims that war is the ultimate expression of man's nature, reveling in the carnage he orchestrates. Where most would flinch, he stands reveling in the systemic cruelty of reality. Every act, no matter how grotesque, is another brushstroke on his canvas of chaos, a desire to unite humanity's darkest instincts under his nightmarish vision. His cosmic arrogance is encapsulated in a terrifying quote. The self-appointed arbiter, reveling in a world he perceives as fundamentally flawed and deserving of punishment. In Holden's eyes, innocence is a lie, and he exists solely to unravel that deception with every cruel twist of fate. Whatever in creation exists without my knowledge, exists without my consent. Griffith. At the apex of our countdown is Griffith, the tragic villain of Berserk. Once a hero in the eyes of many, his descent into depravity is a cautionary tale of ambition turned malevolent. He is a fallen hero, a charismatic leader of the Band of the Hawk, whose beauty masks a profound narcissism and an obsessive pursuit of greatness. What makes Griffith particularly terrifying is the ease with which he manipulates those around him. His ethereal charisma draws in countless followers, promising them a brighter future, only to shatter those dreams at the moment of his deepest desperation. In the name of ambition, he commits unspeakable acts, sacrificing friends and foes alike on the altar of his dream. As Griffith sheds his humanity, he reveals a monstrosity so unspeakable that it makes one question the limits of ambition. Power and purpose become so intertwined that empathy is not just a weakness, it's an obstacle. I sacrifice. And that's our look at some of the most terrifying, complex, and unhinged villains in all of fiction. But this is just our list. Which villain do you think is the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to Clearly Fiction for more explainers on the lore you love. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.